My child, there are moments in life when the world becomes quiet. Not because everything is solved, not because every question is answered, but because the heart begins to listen. Many people walk through their days carrying unseen weight, responsibilities, memories, regrets, questions about the future. Sometimes the path feels long. Sometimes the road feels uncertain. And in those moments, a quiet question appears inside the heart. Am I alone in this? Listen closely. The deepest truth spoken through Scripture, spoken through centuries of faith, is simple. You are not alone. Even when the room feels empty, even when the world feels loud, even when people do not understand the thoughts moving quietly inside you, there is a presence that does not leave. Throughout the Bible, this promise appears again and again, in different words, in different moments, but always carrying the same meaning. I am with you. When Joshua stood before the unknown future, God spoke softly to him. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Not only in victory, not only in certainty, but wherever you go. Think about those words slowly. Wherever you go, into the mornings that feel hopeful, into the afternoons that feel heavy, into the nights when thoughts become louder, the promise remains the same. I am with you. Some people search for this truth in noise, in constant activity, in distraction, but often the presence of God is discovered in quiet places, in stillness, in breathing, in moments when the soul stops running. Because faith is not always loud. Sometimes faith is a whisper. My child, even when the road feels uncertain, you are being guided. Not always in ways that are visible, but in ways that slowly shape your path. Doors that open, doors that close, encounters that happen at the right time, lessons that appear when they are needed. Often people ask, if God is with me, why do challenges still exist? This is an honest question, and the answer is not found in the absence of difficulty. It is found in the presence of strength. A person walking alone feels every obstacle as a wall, but a person walking with faith sees obstacles as moments of growth. Think about the story of David. Before he became king, he stood before a giant. Goliath looked impossible. The odds looked impossible. But David did not walk forward alone. He walked forward believing something greater walked beside him. And sometimes, faith is simply that. Taking one step while trusting that unseen guidance moves with you. Life rarely unfolds in straight lines. There are seasons of joy, seasons of waiting, seasons of confusion, seasons of rebuilding. But through every season, one quiet truth remains unchanged. You are not abandoned. Look back at your life for a moment. Think about moments when something difficult eventually led to something meaningful. Moments when a delay became protection. Moments when an ending became a new beginning. Often, the path only becomes clear when looking backward. But while walking forward, it simply requires trust. Trust does not mean knowing everything. Trust means continuing even when the full picture has not yet appeared. Faith grows slowly, not through perfection, but through small daily steps, choosing patience, choosing kindness, choosing hope, even when the world encourages the opposite. Sometimes people think they must be extraordinary to walk with God, but Scripture shows something different. Ordinary people, fishermen, shepherds, workers, parents, people who simply listened when the moment arrived. The path of faith is not reserved for the perfect. It is open to the willing. And willingness often begins with a quiet pause, a breath, a moment of stillness. My child, when fear appears, remember this. Fear speaks loudly, but truth speaks calmly. Fear rushes, truth waits. Fear says you are alone. Truth reminds you that you are guided. Guidance does not always remove challenges, but it transforms how they are faced. Instead of panic, there can be patience. Instead of despair, there can be perspective. Instead of loneliness, there can be quiet companionship. I am with you. These words appear again and again throughout the story of faith. They were spoken to prophets, to leaders, to those who felt weak, to those who felt lost. And they are still spoken today, not always through thunder, not always through miracles, often through quiet reminders. A verse that appears at the right time. A conversation that brings clarity. A moment of peace that arrives unexpectedly. Sometimes guidance is gentle, like a small light in a dark room, enough to take the next step, and the step after that. You do not need to see the entire road, only the next step. And step by step, the path reveals itself. Even in silence, God is working. Even in waiting, growth is happening. Even in uncertainty, direction is forming. Faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is continuing to walk while holding those questions. Think about the disciples. They did not always understand. They asked questions. They doubted. They struggled. Yet they continued walking. And through that walking, their understanding grew. The same process continues today. Step by step, day by day, choice by choice. Some days will feel light, some days will feel heavy, but neither changes the promise. I am with you. not only in moments of strength, but also in moments of weakness, not only when you feel confident, but also when you feel uncertain. Because divine presence is not conditional, it is constant. When people remember this truth, something shifts inside them. The pressure to control everything begins to soften. The need to rush begins to slow. The heart becomes steadier. And in that steadiness, wisdom appears. Choices become clearer. Priorities become simpler. Peace becomes possible. The world may remain busy, but the soul can remain calm. And calmness is strength. So whenever the path feels heavy, remember the quiet promise that has guided generations. You are not walking this road alone. Take the next step with courage. Take the next breath with faith. Keep moving forward with patience, with kindness, with hope. Because every step taken in faith builds a life of meaning. And here is the truth worth remembering. Even when you cannot see the way, you are still being led. Continue walking, continue believing, continue choosing light. Because the path of faith always leads to something greater.